Resonance podcast with Sally. Hello, dearest listeners, dearest love, and dearest family. Welcome to the Roar and Resonance, to this sacred space, to this community. My name is Sally, and in alignment to my soul's deepest calling and name, Akandara, we are fellow loved ones, journeyers, way showers, and trailblazer in this grand tapestry of life. This journey of remembering the I am, this path home towards oneness. And if you are returning to this channel, sweet loves and kisses and hugs, settle in, my love. And if you are new to this space, a little bit about it. I co-created the space with the divine. It is overlighted, protected, guided by a council of star beings, animals, elements, gods and goddesses, archangels, and various companions along the way. And before I click record, I open sacred space, calling in the guardians of the four directions, guides, and higher angels who are here for our highest timeline creation and for our own alignment to our true north. And I call in Mother Gaia to ground, root, nourish, and support this space. And you will resonate with some part of my messages, maybe even all or not at all. And what we do is what we celebrate the whole spectrum of what is, because we recognize and know that the full spectrum is the full expression of the divine. The good, the bad, the dark, the light, the shadows, all and everything in between. So what I would say and offer to you is to take what resonates with you and leave the rest to Gaia. Leave the rest to Mother Gaia. Let it pass by your field, and Mother Gaia will transmute it into nutrients to nourish you and us and the space. And if you resonate with something, you can simply say, I accept, I receive. That is something that I've learned from my practice with various mentors. And the reason why we want to affirm this is because this space is all about personal agency, sovereignty, consent. They're very important in this path of remembrance. To remembering that we are powerful beings of creation, that we have free will, and it is on our own accord that we shape our reality the way we want and desire it. So after opening sacred space, I settle into the energy and prepare myself for messages and wisdoms that are coming through for us. And I serve as a channel, a conduit, a bridge, a connector to deliver messages from the unseen world to the seen world, from the non-physical, the metaphysical to the physical. And doing so in co-creation with the divine, I bring in messages that will best serve this container, this medicine space for the highest good of all in it. Then the wisdom that comes through comes from my library of expressions. In other words, if I fill my knowledge, my library, right, my personal library with knowledges that combine from different cultures, languages, religions, esoteric modalities, tarot, paganism, Wiccan, Akashic record dive-in. So it combines a range of all the different modalities that I've worked with, are working with, and the messages will come through and weave a tale that combines these knowledges from all over the world, all around, to the knowledge that we receive, and then we transmute them into embodied wisdom, meaning how have I learned, gathered all of these knowledges across the globe and different time and space, and how do I transmute it into a way of practice, right? How do I live, breathe it, live in authenticity, in alignment to these knowledge? And so that's embodied wisdom. And so I'll combine that into these messages along to share with you. And it's also, I want to take a moment here just to talk a little bit about this, about our own very personal library It's very similar to when, if you've ever done so, dive into the Akashic records. Everyone will see something a little different. My journey, Akashic record journey, is completely different from someone else that I know or another person that in a class or so. And I've encounter people who see things as like fine art painted because that was their background, that was their career, that was what made, that's how they saw life. They saw their life through fine arts. And I saw another person who, funny enough, actually saw anime. So that is why, and they saw their entire unfolding, like wisdom coming in as if it's like segments of like an anime. And that's why it's so beautiful, so powerful, it's so magical and important on understanding what it is that you want to fill the library of you. All right. So now, okay, what we are going to do, what I feel like will best serve our space right now is that we are going to take a moment to ground into this space. All right. So I want us to let's take a few deep breaths and loudly exhale it at your own pace. All right. I am ready to receive. We welcome in the wisdom of the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Swords in reverse. And we are familiar with the Wheel of Fortune as it has shown up in previous readings. And these readings are timeless, so they are arriving in your field at the time when you called for them. Not so much about when I recorded them. And with the Wheel of Fortune, life is life in. And what I also hear is that what goes around comes around. Deeds in alignment with our desires, our highest time than creation, our true north, those actions, results, emotions, behaviors will be amplified and magnified. The same is the other way. Unaligned actions, thoughts, and feelings will produce the same, will create dissonance, will create more chaos, more unorganized way, more inauthenticity is coming, but not in alignment. So a lot of dissonance. The same challenges or obstacles will keep coming up until we are ready to face the root of them and learn from them through lenses of love, compassion, empathy, curiosity, play, and no judgment. Intentional actions. And with the wheel card, what I feel is like this embodiment of knowledge, taking what we know, living in alignment to it, and expanding it into all aspect of our life, into embodied wisdom, and to live in and breathe in it, living in authenticity. And there's this flow with life, a very, I feel into it, and it feels very, it feels flowy. So I would say a very sacred feminine energy, learning to direct our energy to what aligns to our wants and desires. And a concrete example that is coming up is if you want to ask your boss for a promotion, you prepare your speech, you march over to your boss's office, knock on that door, and you tell your boss that you want a promotion, you present everything. And everything externally, as I'm saying it out loud, right, sounds, hears, looks all right. But what you may not be realizing is that the anxiety leading up to going to your boss to ask about this, the uncertainty of whether or not you're ready for this promotion or ready to speak about it, that you feel like you have all the qualification for it, and also the anticipation for a no because that's how it's always been, are all presented in your body. And your body, your tone, your eye contact, the pitch of your voice, everything else is speaking to the internal emotions. The internal is speaking louder. And the energy of these emotions, energy in motions, are speaking louder. So that is what will land first to the person listening to it. And there's no alignment between the desire and the body and the emotions. And the practice to align the way we move, talk, breathe, etc. to our desires lead to an outcome. Another name we would often call it is manifestation. Is the relationship that we have with our desires, are they incongruent? And what we do is recognizing that our thoughts shape our reality. And it's even more powerful magic when our thoughts align to our words, our actions, our emotions, our what we desire, what we want. And when we wield that power consciously, we would turn heads, we would command a room, whatever you wish, however, in whatever way you wish, because what happens is when you align in your heart, mind, body, and soul, this is also called authenticity. And people feel it, people see it. They may not even recognize or pinpoint exactly what feels, I don't even say like, oh, what's bringing up that red flag, right? What's kind of like triggering, like creating like an itch inside my body. So when it's not aligned, people can sense that disingenuous kind of reflection, and you can feel the dissonance between the words, behaviors, emotions. So with the Wheel of Fortune, right, the series of choices that we live moment by moment can easily influence how we navigate life. And if we were to walk through life in an unconscious state with blinders on, you'd react to every single stimuli, lose focus on your dreams, and essentially you just be tossed around in this in this hamster wheel, rolling and rolling and rolling. Or you can just be like that hamster who learns to walk on its feet, knows how to keep balance, and can now know how to navigate this hamster wheel. And you still be in a hamster wheel, but at least you'll be able to move all around. You feel a little happier. You feel with more clarity. At least like you're like, okay, you recognize that you chose, right? You chose to learn. Let me get on my feet. Let me start moving. Oh, and this is where I can move. At some point, and I think that's a beautiful thing that can, be offered here, right? And then also at some point, there's this part where you hit a ceiling or a wall and you realize, how do I get out of this hamster wheel? And in this analogy, in our growth, in our expansion, and in our deepening, we will face blockages, we will face resistance. Because remember, we're multifaceted humans with many, 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 many layers of conditioning, of memories, of ways of being. And as we expand and deepen to the infinite ways of the divine, we will somewhere along the line, through our own wire and our own conditioning, because we are humans at the end of the day, we'll hit a blockage. And we can either go panic or go feral, or or due to our own work realize, what could this be? Let's play with it. Let's have fun. Let's be curious about this blockage, this opposition, this period of contraction, this resistance. Because remember, just as the cycle, as we go through the cycle, right? And the wheel is also all about cycles. Cycles come into completion, cycles beginning. It's cycles, the cycles of life, the cycles of season. And just as in certain part of the world, right, or in general, like we have the 4 seasons, and just as we grow and expand during the summertime, we go into like a certain almost like stillness, this solidification that happens in the wintertime, and then we burst open in the spring. And all of this contributes to the birthing of us. And as with any period of transformation, it can get pretty uncomfortable, especially as you shed away layers of old selves and old ways of being and old conditioning. You are expanding and growing in a way like shedding your skin. And that in itself can get pretty uncomfortable. A lot of times on social media, we talk about like, oh, it's all like love, light, and beauty, but spiritual And that is true. That is true. There is a very much a huge component of this peace, that euphoria, that alignment that happens. And remember, this is a space for the this and that. Is that, and at the same time, there will be moments when these spiritual growth, these awakening can be very painful, can be very like dark night of the soul, can be grief, can be sorrow, can be hurt. These are all in that period of contraction, right? That period where we are, that resistance, that it's helping us grow in ways that we don't even can fully fathom in that particular moment. But it is to serve our growth, the crack in open of ourselves, the pressurizing ourselves to turn ourselves into a diamond, the birth of us. And I think that also, and if you can work your way through it, over it and under it, right? Dive right into it, these moments, and appreciate these moments of contraction, because right now that these moments of contraction, these periods of resistance, you're going to expand tenfold. You're going to grow in ways that you could never possibly even thought of before, could fully fathom. And I feel like that is what the gift of this Wheel of Fortune is coming to our field right now, is to show us that we, as humans, we go through periods of our life, cycles of our lives, things that once resonated no longer resonated, things that we've never thought would resonate now resonates. And we go through these periods all throughout the day too. Moment by moment, we are growing, expanding, facing resistance in ways that we could, like I said, can't fully fathom. And I think there's this expansive energy that's coming in, because I keep saying, I can't fully fathom, right? It's like, I think it also has this component of like, okay, we have this knowing, right? This knowing that life happens, that cycles of life, that we are beings who have cycles of life throughout the year. We have cycles throughout the day, cycles throughout the seasons, even moon cycles. And with this knowing, like this is the knowing to embody wisdom part, right? Knowing this is like the Wheel of Fortune. Like, that cycles happen. You also know that good things will happen or bad things and all of this. So you have this knowing that cycles will happen because of a certain choice or a certain moment. And now when we transform that, right, transmute that to embodied wisdom, we go from the Wheel of Fortune to the wheel, to the hamster in that wheel, to the one who is outside and can see all around. From being in the wheel to wheel turner. So you recognize this and that you are also the creator of your reality, that you can also be the one that can choose the condition in which you can grow, right? You can also be the one that can look at these moments of resistance with agony and hatred and where misery is coming, or you can look at it as, ooh, yay, I'm about to get an upgrade or an evolution. Like there's so many ways you can look at a certain situation, and it's up to you on how you want to navigate that. And I think that's a pretty awesome thing that recognizing the this and that, and there's nothing wrong with either of the two in a way, right? It's and my question will always come back to what aligns with you. What do you feel aligns to you? And you make your choices but based on this, and people will react or will make their own choices based on what aligns to them. That's why we have relationships that some will at the time resonated with us, but then throughout maybe a certain period, you're like, okay, it doesn't really resonate anymore. Like this doesn't feel like it works anymore. And then we go into a different relationship with ourselves, with others, and so many things in between. And what I feel is like today marks an opportunity to live more consciously, more intentionally. And I would even simplify, like, what can you do that would help you feel more grounded, more aligned in your life? Can you invite in, I think joy is a common thing, right? Joy, peace, harmony. And then also, how can you And just a little moment. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. It could just be one moment that can start and kickstart your day, right? Like, for example, starting out the day, going outside, observing the sunrise with a warm cup of tea, appreciating like, oh, there's this chill. Oh, I like this chilly air that's coming through. I can go wear the nice sweater that I have. Oh, I can wrap myself in a blanket and appreciate the warmth that's emanating from this cup of tea and the way that I can inhale. For some reason, smell spearmint right now. Or like peppermint tea, yeah. Like peppermint tea. Like inhaling this luscious scent of peppermint wafted from the teacup. You can, and I think you can hear it too, right? Is this inviting and this enriching your life with beauty and love, and in a way, even, and it's over something that people would say it's a simple cup of tea, that you can allow life to not, like, let life turn you on is what I would offer. It's like, let life turn you on. How can life court you? How can you take this moment and just amplify it 10 times, like, even if it's 5 minutes, right? But within that 5 minute, you were able to expand your heart in ways that is so, like, magical. So I think that would be a good thing to marinate in. But Sally, what about the Knight of Swords in reverse that you mentioned before? Yes. Yes, dearest listener. Because being able to find peace, Sally, sounds wonderful. But, I have triplets holding onto my leg right now. I don't have triplets, but I'm just saying that's the imagery that's coming through. I have triplets holding onto my leg right now, a child in each arm. And this is where we invite in the wisdom of the Knight of Swords in reversed. And I like to read both the upright and reverse because it mirrors the depth and width of our human experience, the light and the dark and all in between, all offering great nuggets, catalysts for growth, expansion, deepening. And I think, sometimes life just gets, life can get really busy with so many responsibilities that we've taken on a whole, our entire period of life. If you're you have family, right? You just have so many different things that can come up. And life can be very chaotic without a moment of breath. And swords being about our mental body and our thoughts greatly influence our reality, right? The Knight of Swords, knights in general for me feels like these young adolescent to young adult type of energy, like this swift, ready to take on the world type of energy, like I can do it. The Knight of Swords too is the fastest in the deck. Come on, sword, swing it in the air. It's related to our air element. Air is really fast. Right? It's like it happens in an instant. And what I feel and what I'm hearing is that for some of you, not everyone, is that it could actually personify itself into like a little young masculine energy, someone who embodies like this young, not yet matured sacred masculine energy, who's very swift, passionate, and for some reason I'm like seeing like little kids, like little boys, so if you have sons, but like very passionate, swift, action oriented. And I also have this thought that's coming in too, is that I am without an end or a beginning. When it's in the reverse position right now, it's coming to me as like an impulsive energy, like running without a plan, running without an end or a beginning. And what I hear is racing thoughts. Similar to how you can have a thought upon thoughts because it's so loud and chaotic up there, and it's showing up in our environment, right? Our thought being so busy as it is right now, as we turn our attention from inward to outward, what we see is a sink full of dirty dishes, that sock on the ground again. And then with the Knight of Swords, this impulsive energy, anger, hellfire, hellfire just rains down to the immediate environment. And what is being offered here is that there's an opportunity to still do all your dreams, follow the thoughts and the passions, and live in that very passionate way with peace, harmony, and also following your desires, is that and we can do it in a way where we can feel grounded, the ground beneath our feet, to feel more grounded. And the question here, and it ties so beautifully to the Wheel of Fortune, is, and I keep going back between Wheel of Fortune and the wheel. They're the same. Can you, the how it beautifully ties in right now is, can you take an extra moment to ground yourself? Can you take a look at that menacing sock on the floor and breathe more deeply? Can you just, like, before reacting and picking up that sock and stomping over or throwing it in somebody's face, right? Can we take a moment to just breathe? Breathe a little bit more deeply. Turn your attention inward to find the stillness within. Can you go in, and I think it taps into something here, and it taps into the idea of safety. What does being and feeling safe means to you? So with this, it could be like a chaotic environment just reminds you of the chaotic environment growing up, having messy sink or messy, just things all around, and it's triggering something, right? So I feel like that's what's coming up here too, is the idea of feeling safe within our environment. When things happen, when moments happen, can we can we go inside to the safety of you? You are safe. You are whole. You are a being who knows how to flow in between all the chaotic mess here. Can you take this moment and turn your attention inward for just 3 breaths? And then actively and intentionally ask or do something that feels in alignment, that is going to help you feel even fuller and more aligned. And can you turn it into a game or something? For the kids, for example, who can pick up the most clothes wins a pizza, like gets a whole big pizza, a pizza party. And I also want to highlight here too that let's say you go over and you take a moment, you weren't able to turn your attention inward, and you take that sock and you throw it, or you stomp around, or however it might be. I want to highlight here that it's okay. It is okay. If you feel that it was so chaotic, you wanted to collapse, you wanted to close up, you want to close up all your petals for a bit so that you can just have an extra moment, that you just it had to come out. And that's okay too. You're here now, you're listening to this episode for maybe even afterward everything happens, right? Well, then what I'm saying right now is that there is no shame here, no guilt, no blame, or anything like that. Rather, what's being offered here in this space is, how can you tune into your body more? How can you listen to your heart more? How can you listen to have more alignment of your heart, your body, heart, mind, and soul? How can you do these things? Because at the end of the day, the space here that offers is here to witness the fullness of your emotions, the dark, what you deem to be like the dark and the shadow, to the light, and everything in between. So what we want offered is, how can we invite in more grace? How can we invite in more peace and more ease, more intentionality, authenticity, invite in more joy, wonder, and curiosity? Because I always say, and I truly do believe, is that everything happens for a reason. I even have a tattoo of that. Everything happens for a reason. There is no coincidence. Like, you're here for a reason. There's a deep desire in you. So I would say invite, and let's appreciate both of it. I mean, even when we feel so angry about something or get so passionate about something, I say there's something that it means really a lot to you, something that is important. You are safe. You are home. You are peace personified. You are a walking miracle. You are whole. You are full. You are love. You are light. You are the shadows. You are the depth. You are the all of everything and in between, and you are so goddamn powerful. Yes, we are complete. And that is all the messages that we have for you today. And I want to take a moment right now to thank our guides, the 4 directions, to all the gods and goddesses who hold us in this space. And we thank you for being here and choosing to forge a different way of being. You recognize something in the depths of you and you are taking action to it one day at a time. Thank you. Thank you to all of us. Thank you. So until next time, my all, the light in me sees the light in you. I love you. Bye, guys.